When I asked a client how retirement was going after about 1 year in, he told me, I'm really enjoying it. It's really an amazing stage of life. And then a few days later, I asked another person, how's it going after 1 year of retirement? And he said, honestly, it kind of stinks. I thought I'd be having a lot more fun. I've got this free time now, and I thought I'd be enjoying it, but really, I'm just kind of bored, and it just doesn't feel right. And and then I heard of another couple recently who not clients, but they're getting a divorce. And about 5 years ago, I remember talking with the husband, and he was newly retired, and he was telling me how he was kind of feeling down because he didn't think this is how it was going to be in retirement after he had sold his business. So I don't say that to scare you. I share that because I really want to have us think about retirement. If we want to make it the best possible stage of life, we're going to have to think just a little bit. So we both know retirement isn't just figuring out the money side of things. It's very important. We have to do that, but it's actually easier to figure out the money side than the non-financial things. So I say that because we've been doing this at Streamline for 22 years, and we have it, we believe, down to a science, because we know that once we start monitoring and running the income system and investment system, it brings a lot of peace of mind for clients. But why are some clients who don't have to worry about the money things anymore, why are some happy and why are some not happy? So I've come up with 7 things that I'm seeing in different people of successful retirees and happy retirees, what they're doing to enjoy retirement and their life to the fullest. But first, if I haven't met you yet, I'm Dave Zoller, and I run a wealth management firm named Streamline Financial, along with Tim and Luke and Sean. And if you watch this video and you do end up finding it helpful, please consider helping someone that you've never met by clicking the like button or commenting below. Because I'm really hoping that a lot of people who are close to retirement or in retirement can see this video so that they don't wind up like the second person that I mentioned earlier. If you do that, thank you in advance. So on to the first thing that happy retirees do in retirement. It seems obvious, but I'll give you a specific strategy to actually do this. They make a non-financial retirement plan. So what does that even mean? That just means that the happiest retirees that I've seen, they take dedicated time before their retirement date to think through how they want to spend their time. Maybe you're thinking, well, I'll just do whatever I want. I've got the freedom now. That's really all that matters to me. But just be careful, because there are 5 stages of retirement, and the third one is actually kind of a letdown stage. It's when many people fall into a slight depression because the honeymoon phase of retirement has worn off. And then they end up starting to feel like they don't really have a direction or purpose in life. This happens because work used to be their main source of purpose and meaning for the day and for the week. And usually we've got a clear outcome and goals that we have to accomplish each day and week, and we're moving towards something at work. And also work was our main source of social activity. And now the connections are less of a part of our lives. So here's the good news. Some people, they get to retirement, and because they spent a little time on the financial planning side of things, they get to this point and then they continue to increase their contentment level and their happiness level. So that's what I want for you. So here are a few questions to think about and answer right now. Think about even pausing the video maybe and writing down the first things that come to mind. So question number 1 is, what can you do in retirement that you can't do now? So take a minute, maybe pause the video and write it down. The second thing is, what's the most important thing in your life right now? Really write down the top 3 most important things in your life right now. That question helps us get clear on our values, right? This is important because if we can get our values clear, then our money decisions actually become easier. We've seen this firsthand. And I actually wrote a short guidebook on how to find your purpose in retirement, and I'll include a link below this video. On to the second thing that happy retirees do well. This one sounds boring, but if you can do it, it's going to allow you to have less burden on your mind so that you can sleep better at night. Removing the burden from our clients' shoulders is really actually one of the core motivators behind why we do what we do at Streamline. So happy retirees, they remove the worry of the unexpected by making sure that they have the right power of attorney set for medical and property, and have the right wills and trusts set up for their financial situation. That way they know if something unexpected happens, then their financial life, it can continue to run appropriately. You might be thinking, well, when I die, I don't really care what happens next. Well, what if you're alive, but you just can't act on your behalf? Within the last year, I've seen 3 clients decline mentally to the point where they're not able to manage their own affairs, and having the trusts and POAs set up, it made it easier for their family than if they didn't have those things. So consider talking to an attorney and seeing what makes the most sense for you. The third thing that happy retirees do well is they make health a priority. Did you know that the freshman 15 isn't just about college kids who gain 15 pounds their first year of college? Have you ever heard that before? Well, when you retire, you might have less structured meal times. You might be less physically active than when you were up and about moving around for work. And you might have more time for social things, which is a good thing. But let's be honest, social stuff is usually centered around eating and drinking. And the Journals of Gerontology, which is just study of aging, shows that many retirees, they consume food in response to losing their personal identity. And that's a common thing that can happen. So that's something to just be aware of. Having a plan to stay active and pick up a new athletic activity, or just be aware of what you're eating, is really important in retirement, because retirement's a major life change. That's actually the best time to create some new habits. So why not create some habits around staying healthy so that you have more of a chance of being free from disease and ailments in the future? One quick thing that my dad did was he got a fitness tracker that he wears on his wrist, and it's kind of gamifying the exercise experience for him. So he's been enjoying that. That's just one idea. And if this has been helpful so far, please like this video and then let me know in the comments too what you think. If you know someone who's nearing retirement or in retirement, share this video with them if you think they might like it. On to the fourth thing that happy retirees do well. Here's something interesting. It may not be true for everyone, but it is for many people in retirement, which is you now have the most time you've ever had. You've got the most money you've probably ever had, and you have the most wisdom you've ever had, because with age comes wisdom. And if that's true, then you're a pretty valuable person. Now, you might be a humble person as well, or you might not agree, but it just might be true. Think about it. If it is, you can do the fourth thing that the happiest retirees do well, and that is they're generous with their time, their money, and their skills. One of the best ways that I've seen retirees find fulfillment and purpose in life after work is find their unique strengths or rediscover their unique strengths and then use those to help other people. I'll share how to find your unique strengths soon, but the reason this is so important is because if you can practice generosity, you've got the power to change someone's life and even your own life. You've seen the studies, I'm sure, about when you give, you're actually happier. I believe that's true, and it sounds like a simple equation. Give equals happier. It's an easy equation to test out for yourself and see if it is true. And the other thing is that, when you watch and read the news, and even for just 5 minutes, it's not hard to think that the world can kind of be a messy place, or just kind of a messed up place sometimes. And I'm an optimist, and I try to focus on being grateful for the things that are in my life. But sometimes when I see the world, it does look kind of messy. The cool thing is that when you practice giving your time and your money and your skills to help others, something happens. And it looks like this. If you can see my screen now. Did you see that? Yeah, I'm seeing it too. There's pockets of good that appeared. And I believe that being generous with what you have, that can actually make the world a better place. Maybe not the whole world, but it can create these little pockets of good within the world. And if enough people do that, then people might notice. And even if the world doesn't change, you might change the world for just one person by your generosity. Now, the last thing on this, if you don't know your skills, Strengths Finders, the book, is a great short assessment that can help you find out your unique strengths or rediscover them after retirement. I'll include the link to that book and the assessment below. We've got just a few more things that happy retirees do and do well. And the next one is they outsource the things they don't want to do. Wouldn't it be nice if you could spend the majority of your time on things that you actually do want to do? I was speaking with a new client recently, and he added a new expense in retirement, one that he didn't have before. Because really, his whole adult life, he did the landscaping, he cleaned the windows outside, he did the gutters in the fall, and all these other household things. And it wasn't until retirement he decided, you know what, I don't want to do that stuff anymore. And so we looked at his retirement plan, and we added in a couple extra expenses, and we just added some outsourced house cleaning. And we can see it did have an impact on his plan. And there was an amount that was lost over the next however many years, 30 or so, but it did not hurt his plan at all. So that gave him the peace of mind to say, you know what, yeah, I'm definitely not going to do this stuff anymore. He actually didn't love keeping up with the retirement planning strategies and tax law changes and what's happening in the economy and abroad. And he didn't want to spend time thinking on it. Really, it made him more stressed when he did, and it wasn't enjoyable. So he outsourced it to us. Really, he stayed the CEO of his life, and then he hired or outsourced the CFO, our wealth management firm. And really, he sees the cost of hiring us as an investment because he's getting a return on that money since we're using strategies that he previously wasn't doing and adding alpha and tax savings that he wasn't doing. Plus, he has his time back, which is even more valuable to him. So the next thing that retirees do well is they stay social. We both know the science behind how having relationships is key to health and happiness. So I'm not going to spend much time on this one, but here's a question just to write down right now and to answer. Maybe pause the video. Who do I desire to build a stronger connection with, and why? So think about that one. And then the next thing is these happy retirees who are retiring well, they continue to grow in retirement. A friend of mine who was struggling recently, he was trying to find what he should be doing in life, really more around purpose. And he knew that he wanted to feel different, but he just couldn't get out of this funk that he was in. So what he ended up doing was, at the end of the day, he wrote down one thing and he answered the question, what did I make progress on today that made today better than yesterday? And then he wrote down, what can I make progress on tomorrow that will make tomorrow better than today? So it's really two questions. And he said it made a big, big impact in his life. So my challenge for you is take 2 minutes before bed tonight and just answer that question, both looking at the day that just happened and then tomorrow. Try it for 5 nights in a row. And really, it's a 2-minute challenge for the next 5 nights. Seems possible. I did it last week, and I'm really not joking when I say it was one of the best weeks that I've had all year. And it could just be a coincidence. Maybe things just happened last week that were really stood out. Maybe it's not, but it would be fun if you tried it, see what happens. I'd say it's worth it. 2 minutes, try it out for yourself for the next 5 nights. Maybe share what happens if anything good happens over the next week. But if you like this video, please like it, share it with someone, and subscribe so that I can see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.